Welcome everyone. We're gonna be today on a really, I think this is a really cool class. It's advanced landscape, but we're gonna go through how to create a landscape in Unreal Engine. So it's really hands-on. So please open your Unreal Engine. I shared with Franco a couple of files that I hope we've got time because it's a really long class, but from this class, you will get basically how to create a landscape in Unreal and how to create a material that works with it, how to populate with some plants, and then how to kind of understand how the system works. I'm going to try to go slow so you guys get to follow me along. If you have any issues, we've got Franco and Andrew that are going to be helping me. And if at any point you feel that, we need to stop or we need to kind of restart, just let me know. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm Natalia Torres. I didn't say that before. Yeah, any questions, just let us know. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. So are you all able to see my screen here? Yeah.
Yes, we're good.
Fabulous. That one. Cool. So yeah, welcome to Advanced Landscape. Thanks to Ed, for putting up the class. It's a really fun class. I had a lot of fun going through it. So I hope you guys enjoy it as well. I'm gonna switch off my camera just in case. There you go. And yeah, so we're gonna see first how to set up a project. We're gonna go through landscape material creation. There's a bunch of ways of doing a landscape material. I'm gonna go through how it is done here. I've created a bunch of landscape materials, just if you guys are interested on seeing how there are other ways of creating them. Then we'll just see how to set up a level and level editing. Okay, I hope I can go through all of this. If not, we've got the labs afterwards anyway, if you've got more questions. Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, first of all, let's go ahead and create a new project. Feel free, I already have mine set up here, so please feel free to go ahead and create your project. Some people will just go directly and do blank. I would rather start with a third-person project because then it already comes with the mannequin and that's going to help you with scale. Okay, so I don't know how big the new mannequin is. The old one was 1 meter and 92 centimeters. So you get that in a way for reference. If not, you can always use a cube, which a cube is 1 meter by 1 meter. And then feel free to set it up wherever you want and name it whatever you want. We call it advanced landscapes, but feel free. Set up the starter content because it's got a bunch of materials that we can use to create our own landscape material. And if you want to go with ray tracing, go for it. I don't have it enabled because, it takes a little bit of time, but those settings are okay. And then hit create. So once we are inside our own project, there's a bunch of things we need to enable, as for example, the landscape patch. So I'm just going to go ahead and we go to edit, plugins, and we are going to go for the landscape patch. I already have everything enabled, so we don't invest any time on seeing me how I restart my engine because, So let's enable the landscape patch. And as well, we're going to enable under rendering the virtual texture support because we're going to be working with virtual textures because this is going to help us to have a better performance, okay? And as well, enable virtual texture on texture import. no worries, because if you already have your project and you haven't and you want to follow the class with your own project and you have a bunch of textures that they are not virtual textures, you can always convert them later on. So don't worry, okay? Everything can be enabled and disabled whenever you need to. So that's rendering, virtual textures, enable virtual texture. If not, you can always search for virtual texture. Like, that's up to you. Okay. Next. Oh, okay. So, and now there is a little thing that we're going to need to do. And I'm not really a fan of, playing around with the INI, but this works really well and we're going to do it. So now that we have already enabled the landscape patch, and then we've gone to the project settings and we have enabled the virtual textures. Yeah, so under rendering, enable virtual texture support, enable virtual texture on texture import. Those three are enabled. Let's just close down the engine and we're gonna go ahead and on our main window, we're gonna go to where our project is, and over here on our config, we can find the INI like profiles or like files, let's say. So we're gonna go into the default engine, if I'm 100%. Yeah, so default engine, and under this line code, we're gonna enable this. So I'm gonna try to copy and paste this so you can follow along, and I'll send it to one of the TAs. So these are CVARs that will allow us to work with Nanite and displacement on our like landscape, the mesh of the landscape, okay? So you can have this set up every time you switch on and off the engine. It's not really convenient, so that's why we're just gonna like type them on the INI, sorry. So we're just gonna go back into here, and then I'm gonna open this, and I'm gonna say to open it with my notepad, sorry, because that's in Spanish, sorry. And then once you open it, you can see this, and under the rendering settings, yeah, you can see how I already have them here. So I'm just gonna copy paste this, and I'm gonna send them. I'm sending it to you, this Franco, on Slack, okay? So you can copy and paste it. So under,
I already have them in Slack.
there you go. So yeah, under rendering settings, you see there's a bunch of like CVARs that they are already like, they've got their like on and off. But in this specific case, we are working on this, which is Nanite allow tessellation 1, which means on or enable, and Nanite tessellation 1 on or enable. Cool. So once you're done, you just save, and that should be it. Do this when your engine is off, okay? So don't apply this and make any changes to the INI files when you have Unreal on, just so you know. Okay, so that's another thing we're doing. And let's go to the next bit. If it changes, come on. All right. So now that we're ready, we just open Unreal again, and we're going to start looking. So if you remember, I already told you that if you already have textures in your project that they are not virtual textures, you can always right-click on them and convert them to virtual textures. But we're going to download a bunch of textures from Quixel, sorry. and they will already be imported as virtual texture, so that's fine. We need to double check that we've got the landscape texture patch under circle height patch. We'll see that now. And we'll go into the material and double check if this is enabled as well. Okay. So let's just open our reel and we're gonna go ahead. I created a new folder and let's go ahead and create a new level. So we're gonna start from scratch, okay? So level, I'm gonna call this LVL landscape epic because I already have a bunch of like landscapes there. So I'm just gonna open that, save. And if you remember from our lighting class, there is a really quick way of getting everything lit up. So we can go to Window, Environment Light Mixer, and create skylight, atmospheric light, sky atmosphere, and height fog. I'm not gonna add the volumetric clouds because I'm not gonna need them for now, okay? So I've got my 4 lighting actors and I'm gonna pop them into a folder so I get everything nice and tidy, and I'm gonna call this lead for lighting. This is my naming like workflow. You can call it lighting, you can call it I don't know, whatever you want, like 01 or whatever you need. Okay, cool. Excuse me. So next we're going to be we're just gonna go back to our content drawer browser, wherever you've got, and I'm actually going to create another folder for this. So I've got everything. Just gonna move that there. And inside my Epic class, I like to have things quite tidy. So I'm gonna create another folder, which I'm gonna call materials. And I'm not gonna have another one called texture because we're not gonna use that one for now. So I think Franco posted a zip file which you guys could download, and it should look like this once you open it. So you've got PNG, RAW, and TGA. Inside this folder, you're gonna be able to find different assets. So you've got PNG that it's called impact, like T_ for texture impact craters. Then you've got TGA, which is a mountain brush. And then you've got this raw file, folder, which is R.16. This is not a WinRAR, okay, just so you know. These are height maps for you to use. We will import one so you get to see how this works, okay? Cool. So you can use PNG or TGA files or images if you want to create your own brushes for your landscape sculpting. So feel free to get this and the TGA to import them into Unreal. So we're gonna do that now. I'm gonna create a new folder, which is called textures. And I'm just gonna drag and drop, okay? So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna, there you go, drag and drop. So that's it, that's how easy it is. And I'm gonna get my PNG and I'm gonna do the same, drag and drop, sorted. So now I've got like 2 different textures that are gonna work as if they were brushes for me. Fabulous. So now that we're ready, we can just go ahead and start to build our own landscape. So let me get back to this, otherwise, yeah. So we already imported this as well. That's done. And now feel free, if you want to download from Quixel some textures. Obviously, not all the textures in Quixel are gonna work the same way for what we're going to be doing. And I highly recommend that for what we're going to be doing, you use grass and some rocks. so you understand how the blending process works, okay? I've got these ones. Well, I downloaded a bunch of them. So let me see if I can copy these so you can download the same ones. Yeah. I'm texting that to you on Slack, Franco, so if you want to copy it.
Yep.
Because I think that if you literally just copy and paste this on Quixel, they can download the same textures. So for those of you that haven't tried Quixel yet, go down to Window, Quixel Bridge, and it should open. Cool. Bear in mind that you need to have an account, otherwise you won't be able to download anything. And once more, please feel free to download whatever you want for this exercise. I just posted those ones because they are the ones that they were given to me on the example. But I think that if you literally just copy like the first one and type it down here, you get it. And then you just need to open it. And bear in mind that these are the quality of the texture. So low quality, I think it's 1K, medium quality is 2K, high quality is 4K, and the highest quality is 8K. I mean, it's up to you. Depends on what you're doing. Obviously, if you download 8K, that's gonna take a lot of performance on your project. I normally just download 4K, and then depending on if it's textures that are gonna be my hero asset, I will leave them as 4K. If not, I will just lower them in the project by hand, and I will show you how to do that. So yeah, high quality should be okay, you know, and then you just hit download and then add, and that will add that into your project directly. So once you add your textures, directly in Unreal, you will see that there is a Megascans folder created, and under surfaces, you will be able to see all different folders with the textures. So as I already had the virtual textures enabled to import, they are already virtual textures. If not, remember that you can always right click and convert to virtual texture. It says the other way around, but it makes sense. So I'm just gonna give you a couple of minutes so you guys can download the textures. I hope that everyone is able to like go through with me. So there you go. And then we will just start because it might take you like a couple of minutes. Oh, I forgot as well. If you don't want to download anything, you can always go to the starter content, and you've got a bunch of textures here. You actually have some grass textures that you can use, and some rock textures somewhere. Yeah, like these ones. These ones work really well with displacement. If you want to try them, these ones, they look pretty cool. So yeah, if you don't want to download the Megascans ones, just go ahead with the starter content ones. Cool. So let's go ahead and start. I'm gonna go to materials, and I'm gonna right click, and I'm gonna create a material, which I'm gonna call M_epic material. Just normally you will call it M landscape, but just go ahead and get that one there. And if you remember from our class, this is how the material editor looks. And there's a bunch of things that we need to do. So as you can see, we've got the displacement over here because we enable the nanite thing, but I can't plug anything into here. So in order to do that, we're going to need to enable tessellation. Yeah, I just created a new material. This is really big now for me. That's okay. Created a new material. And yeah, as I was saying, you, by default, first of all, you won't have the displacement available on the material if you don't do the INI thing. But now that we've done it, displacement comes on gray, like disable. But if we go down to nanite over here and we enable tessellation, you see that gets enabled. And now we're able to work with the displacement. We will talk about this in like a second, but for now, we're just going to leave it like that. Cool. So as I said, there is a bunch of ways of making landscape materials, but we're just going to find this one and then I'll show you some other ways, just depending on what you're going to be doing. So what we're going to be doing is using a function called slope. So Unreal will read the slope of the environment and will decide which material goes where. Give me 1 sec. Sorry, cut problems. So yeah, we're just gonna start. Let me go back to. So yeah, so this is the definition for you to understand. No, here. So this is how it works, basically. You will let Unreal know from where to where the grass will need to go, from where to where the dirt will need to go, and then the rock. And it will be automatic. So once you sculpt, you will be able to see how the materials blend between each other. Some kind of like an auto material. I will call it like an auto landscape material. And it's really convenient because when we import the height maps, you'll see how Unreal will read the information and then we'll just apply the textures, not the material, sorry. The textures wherever they need to go. So let's just have a look, and we're going to be working with two textures. We're going to be working with one that we're going to call dirt and one that we're going to call grass. Okay? So let's just go in here, and I'm going to get my notes. So just bear with me 1 sec. It was this one. And I'm going to have this one here so I can help you through because it's a little bit long. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create two materials within one. So we're going to be using the base color, the roughness, the normal. We're not going to use the ambient occlusion, but you could if you wanted to, and the displacement. And we're all going to be doing it by base color, roughness, normal, and displacement. So go ahead and decide which textures you want. I'm going to be using this one, for example, this grass, okay? So I'm going to drag and drop the texture over here. And I'm going to be using some rock as well, which is, I'm going to use this one here. So now I've got the base color for my grass and my rock. I'm going to give you a tip, and obviously, the more textures and the more stuff you've got in your material, the more instructions we're going to need to do, the more heavy your material is going to be, okay? Which is going to affect your performance. Just so you know. So A tip is to the sampler source of your textures, change it to grab, shared grab, which will allow you to have more textures at a little bit more lower consumption inside your engine. Okay, so get those two and pop them as grab. This is just for you to know just a bit of like performance. So the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to add these texture. Well, we're going to end up adding all of them, okay? But just so you know, we're going to add this ORDP, which is occlusion, roughness, and displacement. If you remember, and if you open this, I told you that sometimes you can pack textures with different textures in it on their different channels. And you remember we did that on our class. So this one and the way Quixel does it is O for occlusion. So you use one of the channels for the ambient occlusion, R for roughness, you use one of the channels for roughness, and then D for displacement, you use one of them. So for example, the red channel is for the ambient occlusion, as you can see here. The green channel is for the roughness, and then the blue channel is for the displacement. And this is a way of like, you know, making things a little bit cheaper. So let me get that there. We're going to get this, which is going to be our grass, and I'm going to drag and drop my displacement here. And I'm going to, well, my displacement, my roughness and displacement. I'm going to get my rock and I'm going to look for it and I'm going to drag and drop it like it's as well. Let's do something, and we're going to convert these guys into parameters. So first of all, we will be able to name them, or you can always select both of them and press C for comment. And that will allow you to have, you know, everything in like boxes. I use this a lot, to be honest. So we're going to call this base color because this is going to be for the base color. This is going to be the roughness. So, and then let's just put that in a color. And I like to use this show bubble when zoomed. So if you zoom out, you can still see what it is. Okay. Let's just convert this into convert to parameter, and we're gonna call this B C for base color grass, and we're gonna call this BC for BC for color. No, rock. Yeah, and we're gonna do the same with this. This one was the grass. So convert to parameter, R for roughness, grass. And this was our rock. So convert to parameter, R rock. Cool. So now we already have our base color and our roughness. And the next we're going to do is we're gonna get the normal. So I'm gonna get my normal for my grass, convert to parameter, and this will be N underscore grass. And I'm going to get my rock, my normal, and I'm going to convert to parameter, normal for rock. Okay, cool. Going to have this on a comment, normal. And last but not least, we are going to get the displacement. So I'm just going to copy or do Control D to duplicate my roughness because we're going to use the same textures, but we will plug into our attributes a different channel, okay? So we get this one, and I'm going to change this to displacement. And this is going to call the grass, and the underscore rock. Cool. So now, for now, we already have our material. We've got a base color, a roughness, normal, and displacement. Are we okay over there?
Yeah.
Everyone is following?
No, they will not be following it super, super fast, but I understand that
I'm
there's a lot
sorry.
of content to go through, so people should just sit and watch as usual with the
okay.
fellowship, so don't panic.
Okay, cool. It's just because, yeah, there's a lot of content I need to go through. I'll try to go a little bit slower, okay? But so if you think about it, this is just the way a material will be plugged, but we're going to be using two different materials. Two different textures. So we're going to be able to get the rock on top and the grass on the ground, if that makes sense. You'll see it like when we finish. So let me go back to this. So we've got the dirt and the grass, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create the slope setup. And this is, I think this is new from 5.4, or I have never done it this way, but there is a function which is like a node that already comes within the engine. So you don't need to make it yourself, which is really cool. And it's this one here, which is the slope mask. And we have a bunch of different parameters, as for example, the fall off, the contrast, and the angle. Okay, so we're going to be doing a 3-vector for the angle, and we're only going to work on the blue channel, because if you think about it, this will be like X, Y, and Z. So I want the angle to work on the Z, like on the height. So that's why we're going to be working only on the blue channel. Then we will create a parameter for the fall of power. So we will be able to see how much of the blending we're going to see between the two textures from the grass and the rock. And then we're going to do the contrast. So how thick is that line going to be drawn? Okay. So let's get back. And as you can see, I've got kind of everything a little bit zoom out because there's a little bit of wires that they're going to go through. So I'm going to teach you like a naming, rerouting like thing that works really well, because it's going to save you to have a lot of nodes. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to create our slope. And I like to have things kind of this tidy. I just go up and I'm going to create the slope over here. So first of all, let's go for our slope mask. So I right click and type slope mask. And as you can see, this node comes up. It's got the tangent, the slope angle, fall off, power, and the chip contrast, okay? And then the result. So slope angle, if you remember, I said we're going to use a 3-vector parameter. So I click on 3 on my keyboard and left click. And that gives me like a constant, basically. And I'm just going to put on the blue, number 1. If you remember, this comes with the set. And I'm going to get this into a parameter. So I can type down slope angle. And this will allow me on my material instance to kind of go through what I want to do. You know, I want it like higher, lower, you know, it's going to help us. So we've got this one here, and then I'm just going to create parameters, scalar parameters for my fall off and my contrast. So I press S on the keyboard and I left click on my mouse, and this gives me a constant parameter, which I'm going to call fall off power. And I can duplicate these, or I can press S again and left click, oops, and type down contrast. So these two being parameters are going to help us to, you know, control on the material instance what to do. So this is just the base of the material, and the other things will just be done through the instance. And now we get the slope angle into the slope angle, the fall of power into the fall of power, and the contrast to the chip contrast. Cool. I'm gonna get everything into a comment box, and this is gonna be called slope. And I'm gonna change the color. So now, if you think about it, this, it's going to blend my two textures, being my grass and my rock, okay? My grass and my rock. So what I need to do is, this will be me copy pasting or duplicating all of these 4 nodes over and over and over and over. And that's quite a lot. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to use what it's called a naming routine. So we drag and drop and type down name, and this enables a named reroute declaration node. So we hit this, and this will create like a node that we're gonna call slope. And this means that this little node is all of these nodes, meaning that I only need one node to use all of these. It's kind of like a function, but it's not. But it's really convenient because it keeps everything tidy, okay? By the way, the nodes that are like this on blue, if you double click them, this is what they've got inside. And this is a material function that you can create if you want to, but it already comes with everything. And this will help you to get that slope going on, just so you know, okay? And this is basically what the slope does. One material goes here and the other material goes here. That's it, black and white. Cool, so now that I've got my slope, I need to make it work between this and this. How do I do that? Well, we're going to create a lerp in order to get all of the 3 things connected. So I'm gonna, you know, type down linear interpolate, or you can press L and left click and you get it directly. Okay.
Hey, Nat. Sorry to interrupt again. So when
go
you're
ahead.
saying press L and then hold down click, some fellows do not have the same keywords that we use. So that might not work for them. So if you can access every node through just right clicking and searching for it, that would be great for replays.
Fantastic. So yeah, sorry about that. No worries. Thanks, Franco. Good. So yeah, just right click and linear interpolate. And that's the same as L and left click. Sorry, I know quite a lot of like shortcuts because it's like more convenient and comfortable. But yeah, and this is like a linear interpolate. So what we're going to do is we are going to mix these two, and the alpha will be the slope that we created, which is this one here. So if you right click one more time, you can see now that you've got these available, which is the named reroutes. So if you open that, ta-da, you've got your slope. And now you've got this guy, which is all of these in just one node. And this gets rid of the spaghetti tons of like wiring going on and nodes, which I don't know if you ever encounter one of those materials or even blueprints or everything that needs to be done with nodes, and it's like all wires and everything. That it's like crazy. It gives me anxiety to see one of those. I've done that before. So like, it's not just you people. Like when you first start, that was me as well. Anyway, so slope goes to the alpha, and then we need to mix these two. So think about A and B. So as you saw here on the slope mask, this is how it works. So you will need to figure out that B, it's going to be the white bit, and the black bit is going to be the A. So just think about it that way. What do you want down? What do you want on the top? Okay. So in our specific case, what we want down, it's the rock, and that goes here. And then this, which is the grass, goes here. No, it's the other way around. Sorry, guys. I confused myself. So this goes down and that goes up. Sorry, I said it the other way around. Okay. So now that we've got this, we need to get this into our base color. Let's see if it works. Okay, it was the other way around. Sorry about that. There you go. Now you can see how this works. Sorry, I messed up. So you've got... No, I keep doing it the other way around. No, it was the correct way the first time. I'm sorry. So this goes here, which is the rock goes up, yeah. And then this goes up. Like, there you go. So we want the grass to be on the lower, and we want the rocks to be high, okay? And now, as you can see, there is a really fine line, or like a harsh line, that it's between both of the materials. And that's because we haven't set the correct numbers over here. So feel free to play, but then, you know, you can always go like 1. So now you can see how this is blending a little bit more. And then the contrast as well, you can set it to 1. So you can see how it's blending way much better. You can have this like 0.5, so it blends. And obviously, this is just like the default value. You will need to play with these once you're ready in your instance material. So we're going to leave it like this for now. And the next thing we're going to do is, and I'm really sorry for this, we're going to need to copy and paste these all the way through the roughness, the normal, and the displacement. So we just go ahead and right-click, linear, interpolate. There you go. And this goes here, this goes here, and then slope goes here. Sorry, I made this wrong. Okay, so the roughness, as I said, is the green channel. So we need to get that, and this will go into the roughness, okay? And now you can see how this is not shiny anymore. And obviously, you can always have it as a parameter if you want to, as a scalar parameter. So that will be scalar parameter here. And you can have this as roughness, and you can pop that there. That's completely up to you. Okay, I'm just going to leave this guy here just in case. The normal, well, we will do the same. Let's just go ahead and duplicate this. And this goes here, that goes there, and this guy goes into the normal. And now you can see how we start to get things working a little bit better. And last but not least is the displacement. So duplicate. And this, it's going to be the blue channel that goes here. Blue channel goes here. And this goes into the displacement. Okay, let's hit save. And let's start building a landscape. And then we will add some stuff. So let's create a material instance from our material. So this guy, it's going to be called I epic material. And then if we open this, you can see how we've got the parameters here, okay? I'm going to give you another trick, which works for me really good. You're going to think that I'm some kind of like weird person with like having things tidy, but believe me, like you need things to be tidy because sometimes these materials, they get so crazy. So you can see how this is named global scalar parameter values, texture parameters, and vector. Well, you can have this named correctly. If we go back to our like proper material, if I click on these textures, well, on this texture specifically, you can see how it's called here under material expression. It says group and it says none. Well, feel free to type down grass. And now, let's say first, if we go back to the material instance, we've got a group called grass, and I've got my grass texture in it. So this is really handy because then I can just go and be like, okay, this texture, and this texture, they belong to the grass group. There you go, save. And if we go back to our material instance, I've got everything that belongs to the grass under the same group. So there you go. Which is really convenient. Cool. Obviously, these three guys, they will need to go into like a group called slope, for example. And then we've got slope and we've got everything. And the last one, it's the rock one. So we just go ahead and get this guy, this one, and this one, and the rock group. Save. And now I've got everything named and labeled really nicely. And I don't need to kind of know what's going on or what is what, etc. Okay? That's a tip. That's me being a pain in the bum because I want things to be tidy. Cool. So back to our landscape. Let's go ahead and create something. So we can go into the selection mode. We're going to landscape. And we've got these options over here. And we've got create new material, which obviously needs to be the material we just created, which is this one. So I can just drag and drop or look for it or select it. Fine. And then we've got the section size, sections per component, number of components. All of these, you can find information of what it means in the Unreal documentation. One of the TAs can drop that there, please, because, you know, you can measure and it goes by kilometers, I think. But I can't remember if like one component, one quad is a kilometer. I can't remember, to be honest. So if Franco can drop that, please, that'll be fab. So for what we're going to be doing, let's just start with a 15 by 15, which is quite small. We don't need, I mean, if you guys want to create like a big one, feel free. But I think 15 by 15, it's okay. And then enable edit layers. And super important, click on create. If you create fill world, if you click on fill world, that's gonna cause you, some time waiting. So we're gonna hit create and that's it. that's our mesh done. And as you can see, I already have like my rocks in here. I keep thinking I did it the other way around. I'm not, anyway. So what we're going to do now is we've got the sculpt and the paint. We'll look into the paint later on, but obviously you can paint layers and I'll teach you how to do that if I've got time. But you can paint with your brush if you want to have like a path, or I don't know, like maybe something under like a tree, or, you know, just paint. But we're going to have a look into the sculpt bottom. And you've got the brush type, you've got fall off, tool strength, brush size, etc., etc. And obviously this works like every single like modeling software. So feel free to start sculpting. If you want to use one of the textures that we imported, you can go into Alpha Brush or like Pattern Brush and look for them here. Sometimes it will be really cool to use a noise texture because it will, like the Perlin noise texture, because this will help you to kind of get some uneven like sculpting. But if not, I think that this one here, the mountain, this is spelled wrong. Sorry, the mountain brush works really well. So feel free to use that one and have fun sculpting. So we go here and we start to, you know, let's just give a little bit more of strength. We'll deal with the tiling now, okay? Just don't worry. I said it correct the first time. It should be the other way around. Anyway, so as you can see, it's kind of blending both of the textures. So the higher I go, you can see how it's blending my textures there. And obviously you can play around with the fall off and we'll see that now, but just feel free to do some mountains right now. One of the things that we're going to need to do first is as well, go back to the selection mode, click on the landscape, and we need to enable Nanite. So for that, we go down to Nanite on our landscape and hit enable and reveal data. And that will do its thing, you know. May take a little bit. Okay, there you go. My computer, it's a little bit slow, so bear with me. Okay, so you can see the displacement, it's fabulous. So all of this, it's the displacement, okay? And obviously you're not gonna get displacement if you don't enable Nanite on your landscape. So have this in mind. How are we able to correct this displacement because it's not working? Well, if we go back here, if you remember, I told you on the material attributes down to Nanite, we've got the magnitude and the center. So going back to my notes, we're going to need to play around with the magnitude. So 4, as you can see, it's way too much. Like, this is crazy. This doesn't look correct. So let's lower it. And this is going to depend on your material texture. So let's go for 1-ish. Let's save and see how it works. This is still really like high for me. I'm just going to go lower. 0.2 maybe. This is way too high still. Maybe 0.5. Yeah, I'm getting there. And I maybe go lower. Maybe 0.3. Okay, that may work. Let's play from here. Okay, I may have gone way too low. Let's play from here once more. Yeah, that kind of works away. You know, there's not a sweet spot. You just need to go and play around until you find one. That's why I told you those pebbles, they work really well with displacement. So I'm just going to leave it like that for now. I think this is way too much, but let's see. Yeah, that's work. Cool. I'm going to leave it like that for now. So depending on your texture, you know, that's gonna change. Cool. So as I told you, back to the landscape tool, feel free to keep like, you know, getting things up and down. I've got another trick for you guys. I think it was if you press Control and Alt, and then you use the right click and move it from left to right, you can get the size of the brush to go higher or smaller. And then if you go up or down, you get the fall off to change. So you don't need to go like texture scale, sorry, not the texture scale, the brush size up or down. Okay, just so you know, we've got the option there. Okay, I'm just gonna build a little bit more so we get to do like more stuff. So it's like 12 o'clock here. You guys, let's go for a 5 minutes break and then we'll just continue because I know it might be quite a lot. And then if, you know, I can get this a little bit more built. Okay? Is that fine?
Yeah, sure.
That's good.
Fine. Well, I'll see you in like 5 minutes. All right. So, yeah, you can just go ahead and create something so we get to see how this works. We'll import a height map later on because they look much better. So, now you understand how this works. Basically, you will get like some of the textures on a side of the slope and some others on the other ones. So if we come here and we go to the slope and we enable our parameters, I can change if I want the fall off power. As you can see now, my green is taking over. The contrast, you can see how the bigger I make it, it makes that harsh line. And then if I lower it to 1 or maybe like 0.5, it blends both of the textures much better. So that's basically how this works. You should be able to kind of manage to find a sweet spot between one and the other one, depending on your landscape. Cool, let's save this. And now, let's go back to normal. One of the things that you may be thinking, this looks horrendous. Like, what is this? Like the tiling is all off. Like, this is way too big. Like, what's going on? Like, I don't like this. And we're gonna fix that. So going back to our master material, there is something else that we're gonna need to do. And we are going to work with the tiling. So if you remember, I explained you the other day how the tiling works. I'm gonna put this here. And it was as simple as just getting a text chord and then a parameter. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna get some tiling for the grass and some tiling for the rock. So we're just gonna do that. Let's get a multiply node. So we get a multiply here, and we're gonna look for a text chord, which is texture coordinate, this one here, and once more a scalar parameter. So scalar parameter. And we're gonna call this grass tile. And we are just going to get this here and that there. And from this multiply, because this guy, it's gonna go into the UVs of the grass, the roughness, the normal, and the base color, roughness, and so on. Okay, so we get to tile as we want that texture. So we're gonna need to get another, named reroute declaration node. And this guy, it's going to be called grass tile. That's it. So we get this here, and this one, it's gonna go under grass tiling. And now we need the same, but for our rock. So in this case, I'm just gonna duplicate this. But obviously, I need to change the names. So this is not gonna be grass. This is going to be rock. And this is going to be called rock tile. We're gonna get all of this on a comment, and this is the rock tiling. So now that we've got this, we just need to go and plug it where it goes, which is going to be under UVs. So naming reroutes, we get the grass tile and the rock tile. And this goes here, this goes here. And now let's just duplicate these two. And that goes there. This goes here, sorry. And the same for the normal and the displacement. So duplicate and duplicate. Grass and rock. So rock here, grass here, grass here, and rock here. I just find really relaxing, like, to do this. I'm sorry. It's like, cool. So look how this looks. This is really pretty. So now we're just gonna need to kind of like adjust a little bit the tiling. Let's just start on 1. Yeah. And then from there, as these guys are going to be controlling this on the material instance, you just need to change it as you need to. Come on, save. And obviously, don't forget to put this into the grass and this into the rock group. And then we save again. And now we've got in the rock my tile. So this, it's going to help us to make the tiling a little bit better. So if we do play from here, I mean, I would make just a little bigger the rock. So I can press Shift F1. And now I can go into the rock tile and I can make it smaller if I go up 1, or I can make it bigger if I go lower than 1. So let's do 0.5-ish. That will do. Save. And let's do the same for the grass. Because like that grass, this is huge. Like this is not working properly for me. So I'll invert the textures because I messed up. Just bear with me. And then grass tile, the same. We need to make it smaller because it was way too big. So we can do maybe like 2-ish. 2.5-ish. There you go, ish. But still, I can see like the repetition when I look up. So now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to use what we call some distance blending. And that it's going to help us to say, okay, so I'm over here with my character and I'm seeing, okay, like, the texture looks fine because it does look fine from here. But then if I keep like looking, it just doesn't look good. I can see the tiling over there. So here is okay, but then over here, it just looks horrendous. So with a distance blend, what we're going to do is we're going to be able to get like a cut. And then this cut, it's going to help us to say, okay, so from this part, this couple of meters, kilometers, we're going to get other tiling going on. So we're going to add more tiling to it, and you'll see how this works. So if we go back into our material, what we're going to do now is we're going to create this. We're going to duplicate it. And instead of being like grass tile, and you will normally call this like near tile and far tile, but this, it's going to be the far grass tile, and this guy, it's going to be far grass tile. And this guy, it's going to be called the same, far rock tile, and this is going to be or you can call it tile or tiling, that's up to you. I normally call it tiling, and this is gonna be like that. Let's get, and we're gonna get this into, let's call this bar. Cool. So now, as you can see, we've got the grass tile, which will be kind of like the near one, and we've got the far one, and we're going to need to do our distance blend. And this is a function that it's called distance. Is it landscape distance? Oh, I found it. Okay. So it's distance blend, this one here. And this has the blend range and the start offset. So this is going to allow us to like tell how much blending it's going to be between the near tiling and the far tiling. And then the start offset is allowing us to get how where it's that start gonna start, like when is the far tiling gonna start. So let me just get that going. One sec. So I think I got that one the other day. Cool. So once more, we're just going to do scalar parameters, and we're going to call these distance blend range. And this guy is going to go here. And then if you read, it says default value, it's 100. So I'm going to set this maybe into like 1000. And then the start offsets, this one says input should be a negative value in units. Okay, so you can work in negative values. Oh, I misspelled that. But yeah, you can have it on negative, just like minus 500, which will be 5 meters. But if you want to just go on like positive values, you can get a 1 minus, which will convert it. So 1 minus, and you get that here and that one. And we're gonna start on 500, okay, which is 5 meters. Cool. And now, once more, we need the name reroute, so we don't need to, duplicate so many times. So we're gonna get that here, and this guy, it's going to be called distance. Oops, sorry, I'm not typing. Distance blend. And all of this is the distance blend. Cool. So now we're gonna use this to blend this tiling, like, the first one and the second one. And the way we're gonna be doing that is duplicating this. It's not, ideal, but we're gonna need to do it. So I'm just gonna get my base color, which is gonna get the whole thing. I'm gonna make it bigger. And I'm gonna get these two, and I'm gonna duplicate them. And then I'm just gonna get all of these inside. So obviously we're gonna need to get everything together. So now I need to look for my far grass tile, and this one will go here, and my far rock tile, and this one goes here. So now, obviously, I'm gonna need to get all of these connected so they all blend together. And for that, we will need to get another lerp. So we're gonna do linear interpolation, what I've got it here. And this guy is going to be here. And then these two, they're gonna need to have the slope as well. So we're going to duplicate this, and it works the same way. We're gonna get this here. Well, actually, I'm just gonna do it the correct way, because this one goes here and this one goes here. So I get that sorted out. Sorry, guys. There you go. And then this guy goes there. And now from the alpha, I'm just gonna need to get my distance blend. Sorry. Here. And where is my distance blend? There you go. And this is gonna get both of them together. So obviously this one will go into the base color. Let's see. And now we're gonna need to do the same for all of the other ones. Okay, so now it's working properly, because, it was, yeah, I got it the other way around. Anyway, so as you can see now, I've got the grass, and then I've got the rock where it needs to be. And as I haven't changed any of the other parameters, we can see the roughness and all stuff. So I know it's too long, but we're just gonna go through and do this as fast as I can. So I'm gonna get all of these guys together. Well, they don't want to go together. And these and these. And now it's just a matter of getting everything where it needs to go. So we'll do the same with the roughness. Obviously, I think one of the best things to do is to get your auto material done. And then everything as it comes in parameters, you will be able to just change the textures. Because if you need to do this every single time you need to do a material, it becomes a little bit of like not a problem, but it comes, tedious because you need to do it all the time. So I'm just going to get that there and rock. And we're going to get everything well connected. Now this is duplicated. And this goes here. That goes there. Then we get another lerp. That goes there. This one goes here. The distance blend goes there. And this guy goes into this is the roughness. So we go into the roughness. Where is the roughness? There you go. I'm just going to try to go quick. We're nearly done. There's a bunch of things that I want to show you as well, like how to get like grass. But once you see these, the whole thing will make sense, I promise, because it looks quite a lot, but the whole thing makes sense. Let me just get that there. So now we're going to keep doing it. We're just going to duplicate our textures. We're going to get the Fargrass tile plugged here. Sorry, I was thinking I did this wrong. The green goes here. The green goes there. Now it's going to work. And then the green goes there and the green goes there. Remember that this is packed, so it's not the RGB, it's just one of the channels. Green for roughness, red for ambient occlusion, blue for displacement. And then this one, far rock tile, and we get this one here. And once more, we get to do these and the normals, they go like that. Let's do another lerp. I go there. You go there. If you want to undo the strings, you just need to press Alt and click, and that will undo them. Just so you know. There you go. And we go into the normal here. And the very last one, we've got the displacement. We're nearly there, guys. So we get these two, we duplicate them. And the same. It's quite repetitive, but, once you get it, it's quite quick. So the UVs go there. The rock goes here. And then once more, we get the slope and the lerp. And this is the blue. So that one goes there. This one goes here. And then once more, that one goes there. This one goes here. And another lerp. And the distance blend goes there. And we are nearly there, guys. This placement, there you go. Cool. Let's say finally, let's see how this works. So you can see a little bit more how, see this one here. I wanted to show you this one. So this is how the blending works. You can see how without it, everything is pixelated. It doesn't look nice. You know, the texture looks rough. And then we've got this one here, which is with the blending on. And yeah, just remember that I use the 1-, so we don't need to set this on like negative numbers. You can do it if you want to. I just prefer to do it the other way around because it's more comfortable for me. So let's try this out. Let's go to here and let me get this. And we're going to go somewhere into here. And, oh, well, I didn't put everything where it needs to go, but we're going to have a look into it now. So let's just leave for now the distance blending like this, and we're going to try. So the grass tile, we can start to see from there the tiling. So if we make this bigger, that needs to be constructed. Or if we make this smaller, this makes it even bigger and bigger. So obviously, for the grass specifically, you will need to have like a quite, depending, but quite a kind of big number-ish. So this is going the other way around. Okay, I mixed this up. Sorry, guys, I'll fix that. So let's just leave this at 0.3. Why is this going the other way around? Okay, well, just leave it like this for now. I'll have a look. I don't know why they are the other way around. Oh, because I inverted them on the thing. Sorry. Yeah, so this one should go down there, and this one should go up there. Yeah, it needs to be the other way around. Sorry. Let me fix that. So that one goes down. This one goes up. Okay, now it makes sense because I was like, why is it going the other way around? This should be like this now. It should work. Let's see. Let's go back to the material. Okay, let's see if now this works. Yeah, fantastic. So we've got the grass, which we set into kind of like 2-ish. We said it was okay, more or less. And we need to fix the displacement as well. And then the far one, you will need to make it kind of bigger in a way, you know, so it helps with the tiling. Obviously, if you change the offset here, the start offset, let me see if you can see it. So if we lower it, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on the stream, but you can see how it changes over there. And then the same with the distance blending. You can see how I'm bringing it in a little bit and it's changing the tiling. So you need to find a sweet spot for everything to work out. And we're going to try with the rock because that may work much better. So let's go to the rock. We've got the rock tile, which we said it was okay on 0.5. Let's try the far rock tile. If we make it bigger, you see, something like that will work. But now if I go close to it, this needs to, I don't know why it's not working properly, because now if you go, oh, let me save. So the other day doing this exercise, sometimes I had to like restart the engine to see the changes, just so you know, but still. So this is inverted as well. I don't understand why. Okay. It's like proper mix. Okay, I'll have a look into that because I don't understand why it's not working properly. But I just want you to understand how this works this way, that the closer you get, it's going to be changing, as you can see here, respect to the other one. Cool. And the very last thing that I want you to show, because I'm running out, I'm still not understanding why. And we should have like a distance blend for the rock and a distance blend for the grass. So just so you know, you will need to duplicate this in order to make it work. So next thing that we're going to do is we're going to get some grass to be spawned. Let me get that here. We're going to get some grass spawned. So it can be grass, it can be whatever material, mesh you want. So let me see this one here. So we've got here this landscape grass type. And I need to say that this really, when I was trying it, because this was because we used to use this to fill in the landscape with grass, because it's really comfortable, because you can actually paint, and then you can paint wherever you want grass or wherever you don't want to. But I think that since 5.4, it's not working that well, because every time I tried it, I had to restart the engine, like to restart my project to get some of the changes done, which makes me think that it's way much better if you guys try to do this with the PCG, with the procedural content generator. But, you know, for just like having some grass, like really small grass, this is a really good way to do it. So I'm just gonna show it to you. So going back, we're gonna go to our content where we had our class, and I'm gonna create what is this? Foliage landscape grass type. And we're gonna call this landscape grass type underscore, and we're gonna call this grass, for example. And if we open it, we just get this, which is grass varieties, and then you can add summarize. So what we're going to do is we're gonna add some grass. You can download grass from Quixel if you want to, or you can use the one from the starter content. So I just downloaded a bunch of grass the other day, so I'm just gonna use it. 3D plants. And these guys, they need to be static mesh. So let me see. I'm just gonna get, I think these ones, they were okay. I'm gonna add these ones, and I'm gonna add another one just so we can see like the difference. I'm gonna add just like grass, like this wild grass, like that one. Yeah. Cool. So now I've got like 2 meshes. I'm gonna save, and I'm gonna go back into my material, and I'm gonna get my grass node, which is going to be called you just type grass. We've got this landscape grass output, and this, it doesn't go plugged into the main node, but there's a bunch of things we need to do. So as you can see, what we're going to do on our grass node is, let me present this again. We're gonna get our landscape grass, which we are going to be able to paint. So we're gonna have a layer that we will paint on our landscape, and we will decide to remove grass or to add grass. So 1, which means enable, that goes into the add grass, and then 0, which means remove, we go into the remove grass. That's it. And then as we want to be working with the slope, you see, we can add the slope as well and the grass amount. If we just want to paint all over, we can go ahead and just get this inside like the landscape layer blend. But as we want the slope to be a part of it, we're just going to have it like this. So let's replicate it. We are going to go into, we're going to get first our slope. So we've got it over here. And the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to get the landscape layer blend. And this is a node that will help you with your layers. And you can create, another way of creating a material is creating it through layers. And I will show that to you later on. I'm still thinking why this is going the other way around. I may have like done it the other way, but anyway. So we're going to have this landscape layer blend, and the rest is just going to be scalar parameters. So once more, I'm just going to get the grass amount, which we're going to leave on 1, because we are going to be able to control the density of the grass through the landscape grass type here. And I'll show you how to do that. But for now, we're just going to leave this together, and we're going to need another parameter for adding grass, which will be 1 for enable and for removing grass, which is 0. And these two, they need to go into the landscape layer blend. So the way this works is you just need to add the layers. So this guy, it's going to be called adding grass. So I will add the grass, and another layer that it's going to be called removing grass. And it goes here. And now we just need to plug everything, and we will do that through multiplies. So you can type in multiply. So the slope goes here, the grass goes here, and then we need to add these two through another multiplied node. So we go here, oops, and that goes there. So let's save. Let's wait for it. And now, if we go back, let's rebuild this guy. Yeah, I'm gonna have a look into, I don't know why I was doing that. Anyway, so now we go back to the landscape because we need to paint. So we're gonna go into paint, and there are no layers. Okay, I'm gonna need to restart because this was happening to me yesterday. Let me save the material again and close everything. Bear with me. Did I close my materials? Back to selection. I don't know if any of you are following around, but let me know if this is happening to you as well, that you need to restart. Because I'm checking this. Let's have a look if everything's going correct. So go back, we've got it the same way. So adding grass, which is 1, removing grass. Okay, cool. Let's save. And let's see if now works. Let's save here as well. Landscape, paint, and there's no layers. Cool. Let me just restart my engine quickly, and let's see if it works then. I'm sorry about that. I just I normally set, I haven't done this on 5.4 until now. and I've been using PCG lately. So that's why I found it out that it wasn't working really well. Okay, let's see if now it allows me to paint. No, not the foliage, the landscape. Paint. There you go. You've got here the 2 layers. So what we need to do next is we need to add the layers and we need to create them. So, and this is going to be for every single layer that you create for your landscape. So if you hit on this plus button, you need to go into wave blended layer. And it's just going to ask you, where do you want to keep this? I keep this in my materials. So I hit save. And now I've got a layer that it's called adding grass. And I'm going to do the same with the removing grass. So I hit plus, wave blended, and I keep it here in my materials. Let's hit save. And now that should work. Let's just save. And then if I hit adding, I am able to paint. But it didn't work for me the other way either. Let me see if I remove. Let's see. So yeah, I'm curious if you're following around, if this is happening to you guys as well. Because now I'm pretty sure that if I go back and open my project again, the grass should be there. Let me see. If not, you can always paint with the foliage if you want to. Let's go back. Let's see if it painted. Nope. This happened to me the other day. So let's see if I get clear layer and if we fill with this layer. Let's save. Okay. Let me just try one more time. If not, I'll try to debug this on the labs because it took me a couple of tries the last time. And I want to show you how to import the assets that I gave you because that's going to look way much fun. Let's see. Yep. It's just doesn't want to work. Okay. There's another way of trying this. Let's see. Just last time. Let me get my material. And I am just gonna get this out of the way. And I'm gonna, oh, okay, sorry, my bad. Obviously, it's not gonna work. Duh. If you don't add the grass type, I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know which one it was. I'm so sorry. Completely forgot about that. Just get this one plugged there. Yeah. Sorry. You need to tell the node which grass type you want to. Otherwise, it won't paint. Duh. Okay, let's try with just one more time. Let's add some grass. If not, I'll pass into importing. Let's just do something like that. Let's save and close, open again. Sorry about that. I mean, yeah. Yeah, no, it just doesn't want to work today. Okay, cool. Well, I'm just gonna go to the next bit because it's just not wanting to work. So I'll figure that out. Sorry, guys. So let me just go back here and we can talk about this, which I think someone asked me the other day about the physical material. So there is a way of giving different physical like settings to the layers. And in this specific case, you can just create a physical material and give some friction to it in order to, if you're walking on the grass or on the water, you walk slower. The friction is different, basically. And that you will just need to create a physical material, which is under physics. And you just need to create the landscape physical material output. And then you just add both of them. So that comes down to here. And then you go to physics. You've got your physical material. And then click on this one here. You select it. And then we can call this like PM for physical material grass. And we're going to get another one. No, I don't want to open it. Thanks. Where is it? Physics. We go, to physical material. We click on the physical material and we do PM rock. So going back to our material, which has escalated really quickly. We just go up here and we're going to look for landscape physical material output, which is this one. And as you can see, we've got two arrays over here. So we just click one and select which one we want, which in this case would be the grass one here, and another one for our rock. So there you go. And then these guys, we'll do that now. No worries. Now we will need to get these plugged into the RGB. And this will allow us to get some collisions going on. So let's just go back here, and the grass goes with the grass and the rock goes with the rock. Let's save. And if you use this, we should be able to see. I'm gonna pop that over there, Franco. We should be able to see how it works. So let me see if this wants to work. Let me see if there is any. Okay, let's see. And then that should work directly. Player collision, but that's gonna be like normal collision. Nope. Okay. Not that one. And the LODs were nanite, so I'll have a look how that works. I'm more concerned about the grass, but anyway.
People are saying that if you The grass amount, they start appearing, maybe.
Oh, really? Okay, I'll have a look into that now. Yeah, maybe because of the tiling. Yeah, we'll have a look into that right now, or if not in the labs, because I want you guys to import the height maps. So this is kind of the basics for, like, let me do that. That's bugging me. This is kind of the basics for landscape material. I know there's quite a lot of things, and then this grass thing, it wasn't working, but this works pretty well, especially if you're doing some slope. I will normally just import something with their own height maps and paint like manually with like the with like layers, or you can have layers and you can have the slope as well at the same time. And I'll show you a material like that now. But what I want you guys to do now, it's because it's gonna look way much better than my landscape. I'm gonna show you how to import a height map. So if we go back to landscape and we go to manage, new, or you can just create a new level. That's completely up to you, okay? So what I'm gonna do, well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna go ahead and delete my landscape, and I'm gonna go landscape. And as you see here, it says import from file. You are gonna be able to import from a different file. And I'm gonna use one of the materials I created before, because they were quite, let's see. Oh, that one. Let's see if this one works now. So the folder that I shared with Franco, if you remember, we had these raw files. Feel free to import the one you want. You've got Grassy Hills, Canyon Crack. This one's small and it works pretty okay. I'm gonna import that one, okay? So over here where it says height map file, I'm just gonna click and this will open my, like the breadcrumb. And I'm just gonna go this one and I'm gonna open it. And as you can see, this gives me a mesh, okay? And I just need to go ahead and hit import. And now this imported a quite big mesh, which first of all, come on. Oh my God, now I was, so first of all, this one, it's underneath. So that's something that you will need to check before. So let me do this first. Oh, okay, I need to create that. That's fine. I'll do that now. So if we go into perspective and you hit right, where is my landscape? Okay, here. You are able to see how this is the 0. My landscape, I know. There you go. My landscape, like the 0 of the landscape, like my gizmo, it's at 0. But if I'm gonna be playing around with the height fog, I may just as well bring this up, you know, maybe like to 0.
Hey, Nat, I think the meeting is going to close up automatically in 20 seconds, just so you know.
Okay, well, just join me at the labs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 10 seconds now. It might close automatically. We'll probably keep people 5 minutes before starting with the lab, okay?
Okay, that's fine. I'll meet you there then. Sorry.
And okay, we're still here, so it didn't close. Okay. We should, though, stop and move to the lab so we keep everything tidy with the recordings and all of that.
Okay, I'll finish this on the labs. I'll meet you in 5 minutes, okay?
Yeah. Everybody join
Cool.
the link for the course lab.
Thank you, guys. See you in a bit.